You're listening to Guitar Talk with Dave and John. All right, everybody, welcome back to Guitar Talk. Dave here, John there.
John here, yeah.
So this week, had a busy week, and Saturday before my gig, I went out and hit the range, which was nice.
Oh, you're getting into golf, huh?
Yeah, I figured I'd hit the links, and no. So Saturday before my gig, I went and hit the range and tried out my new 1911. I got a Rock Island 1911.
Yeah, I think I
Shoots
saw that on
great.
Instagram.
Yes. Oh, what a shooter! It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A real
like
fun
the
gun.
1911. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
That's
and
excellent.
I also shot my remember my Glock 33, the 357 SIG. I shot that, and I shot my buddy's 45. He has a 1911, and I shot my 45, the Glock 21. And then we shot a few revolvers. It was a fun afternoon. And then I went and had a gig, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take that Marshall out. So I took out the JCM 900 2501.
Mm-hmm.
To make it workable for my gig, because it is a one-channel amp, I basically had to go with a somewhat clean sound for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say it does not take pedals well.
Really?
It didn't take... Well, I will say this. It took the Duelist really well, especially the clean treble boost going in that I use on it.
Okay.
It did not take the boiling point very well.
Was it just loud and obnoxious?
The distortion was real farty on the bottom end. I had to pull everything out of it. It was just not a fun night for me to play it. So I basically tried to do everything on the Duelist. But it is much more for like a rock, 80s rock gig than a gig where the cleans matter.
Right.
For me, the cleans are far more important than the dirties, so it's like I won't be taking that out for another FM gig.
Right. Okay.
I really need the cleans to be more precise, and I don't need the drive. I mean, in that respect, the Mesa single rectiverb worked a lot better in a live situation for me with the band.
Right.
But it was a good night. Place was packed. We had a lot of fun.
You do the FM station gig usually with your Hot Rod Deluxe, right?
Well, that's the amp I use the most, and it's my favorite setup. But lately my back's been killing me, so I don't feel like taking it out. I've been taking the Night Train.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah,
with a smaller board, and it's been working great. The other issue I have with the place we played last night is the electricity is so dirty.
Oh, weird.
So it just sucks. I get in all kinds of buzz. Everything's on dimmers in the place, so it's just noisy. It's just not an ideal situation for me.
Got it.
As far as, yeah.
Huh. Okay.
But overall, we had a great night. It was we had a lot of fun, and I took out the 17th Street Strat with a Fred, the Area 58 in the neck, and the 61 in the middle.
The cream and white?
Yep. And it played great. It's actually like a vintage white. Or that cream.
Yeah, that's fair. That sounds...
I notice a lot of people call that color always the wrong color. Like people will call it yellow. Vintage white is basically a white that the top coat would turn color and gives it a yellowish hue. And then like the Ingve model, basically to imitate that, they came up with a new color called vintage white. Very much like they also do that, I think, with Gibson, right? The 68 white is not an Alpine white. They call it another. What do they call that white with Gibson? But it's a white that is turned yellow, like the Randy Rhodes, as opposed to the pure Alpine white. That's like,
I don't remember what they call it.
Yeah,
Don't
but that's
remember.
what it
Yeah.
is, folks. It's not that the original colors were that color. They turn because the top coat turns color and yellows, and then the white looks like yellow. But if you were to sand the top coat off, it would be white.
Mm-hmm.
But, very much like how the Les Pauls, like you see lemon burst and you see bourbon burst. And these colors weren't colors by Gibson. They were colors over time when the color settled and certain colors were coming out.
Right.
Yeah.
Things
I
get
mean, I just thought we'd bring that up because
things get sun faded and everything. Sure.
exactly. Yeah. So
Speaking of faded, I am on I'm on a hardcore bender this week. I've decided that this month of November, is going to be no carb November.
ooh.
And as of yet, I am true to form. I've done it, and I am freaking miserable.
Right. I was gonna say I'm about to do carb only November and you're
Right.
on it.
Oh my god. I'm over here. I'm irritable as all hell. I woke up this morning and dude, my head was killing me. Just pounding. And
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I need water and coffee and an Advil. And then yeah, all day long it's been nothing but greens. Just a lot of green vegetables, avocado, things like that, and then a little bit of chicken. What you got there?
Yeah.
Chicken or
Yeah,
chicken?
today. Chicken or chicken?
Oh boy. So yeah, miserable. Absolutely
Wow.
miserable.
Wow.
Look at this shirt. I'm wearing a shirt dedicated to pizza.
Pizza and beer, slice and pint.
Two things I can't have this month. But
That's
I
outstanding.
don't know if you can tell from my face, but I'm down 4 pounds already.
Wow.
That's a lot of water weight.
Oh, I thought you bet an Englishman 4 pounds you could do it.
How dare you? That's a terrible joke.
Horrible. It's horrible.
Oh,
You know what's funny is the other day I was looking through my channel, and it's funny because I notice sometimes I'll be like, how did there's comments that you don't see. Usually you get notified, but I'm looking at some comments and it's like, people love to be correcting. It's like somebody I said on my guitar, I guess on one of my guitars, I put a 70s neck plate on the back, and the guy was like, 70s neck plates are only 3 bolts, not 4 bolts. I'm like, really? What the fuck came out of telly? You know what I mean? It's like, and not only that, it wasn't the whole 70s that had, I think 70 and 71
oh yeah,
are,
no, I know what you mean.
but you know what I mean? There is a 70s neck plate. You can put it on a Strat if you want. And that's a 4 bolt. But it's like,
No, I hear you completely about the correcting. I get guys that have commented on some of my warm build videos where they're like that's not a push pull, it's a push push. Because it's not a push pull. They're right. It's a spring loaded mechanism. It's a push push.
Right.
Who cares? Like,
right.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
You want to correct? You want to? Okay, fine. I don't know. You know what? Surprisingly, I was expecting a lot more comments on my videos and stuff of people being like, "You're a shitty guitar player." I haven't seen a lot of that, so that's kind of surprising. Compared to some of these guys that are out there, there's a lot of players that are, obviously considerably better than I am, and even on their channels, I see people, dude, that's not very good playing. It's sloppy. It's like, dude, are you nuts? That guy's really good. And I'm not very good, and everybody's been commenting like, oh, sounds great. Sounds great. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe it's
know.
because I don't have enough videos out there.
I always get people commenting stuff like, oh, that's close. You're almost there. I'm like, oh, thanks so much for your...
Actually, he didn't play it in that position. He played it in this position.
Shut up. I've actually gone back and done videos where I'm like, and here it is in the position that the guy did it in because you guys think it matters. And whatever. It's just, it's like you do. I do stuff that makes sense to me. I watch people play. God, I watched. Have you seen this movie called Echoes in the Canyon? It's
No.
about the Laurel Canyon scene in the '60s with the Byrds
No.
and the Beach Boys. And Tom Petty's playing a song, and he's playing a D chord. And I'm looking at his fingers, going, "You play a D chord like that? What the fuck? How the hell? Who taught you how to play guitar? I ought to slap him." And then I realized it was Don Felder. So I went over to Felder's house. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, it was...
Was he holding the D chord like with his index finger on the F sharp or something?
It was like this.
Yeah, that is so unusual. I don't see that every day.
I was like, what the hell is this? That's how he was playing a song by the Byrds. He was like... Instead of... I don't know. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And I was like...
I like that for the transition between the major and the minor. But how often do you get to go D minor?
Right.
It's not that often. But I can't think of another circumstance where you're going to need to maintain that fingering to be able to drop down to a D minor. And there's no other chords where I could think you would need to maintain that D position that you're starting in.
It's just very odd to me. And so I was like, so when I play people's stuff and then it's like people go, look back at the way the guy plays it. Yeah, you know what? I really don't care. I'm showing you how the thing sounds on the record. And who knows if the person that says they even played it on the record or if it was someone else.
You remember in like the 80s guitar magazines when they'd have guys like doing like
we used to talk about that.
The photo. Check out this chord. The photo chord.
The photo chord, yeah.
I always play that chord.
And then underneath the photo it said my 3 influences.
Exactly.
Right,
exactly. Tom Petty, Don Felder, and Vivaldi.
It's the nuttiest thing. I don't know where. In this thing, Echoes in the Valley, Brian Wilson is talking about something, and he's saying the intro to California Girls. Oh, you can hear it. It's Bach. Yeah, that's not Bach. That's you. I don't want to break it to you, but it's not Bach.
It's David Lee Roth.
No, but it's like, look, you played it like a carousel sounding thing. Yeah, maybe it was influenced by Bach, but it's not, don't kid yourself. Bach's writing fucking all kinds of counterpoint and crazy parts, and you're doing a little ditty. That's not Bach.
Right. That's hilarious.
And
now you're one of those guys.
What's that?
On Brian Wilson's YouTube video from 1964.
You're
close.
Oh,
it's Bach. You were like, almost.
Oh, you're almost there. No, but he's writing an original composition. He's saying it was inspired by or whatever. It's like,
right.
When he said that, I said, oh, he really is crazy. Thank you. That's folks.
Need more didgeridoos, an entire army of didgeridoos.
That's all I think about when I hear anyone say Brian Wilson. I think
anything about Pet Sounds, yeah.
It's all Dewey Cox, everybody. Dewey Cox is a very underrated film.
Yeah.
It really is.
It should be considered a great film, and it's not. I don't know anybody who even really knows it outside of like the nerdiest of musicians.
So last night I get home from my gig, and I'm like, what should I watch on TV? And so I watched what I thought everyone would watch, which would be an episode from season 2 of Solid Gold.
Okay. Clearly, that's what everyone would watch.
Everyone would watch that. And I'm watching Dr. Hook sing a song called Baby Makes Her Blue Jeans Talk.
What's that, fat thighs? The talking just goes...
This
every step she takes.
First of all, I loved, I think his name is Dennis Lochieri. I I love his voice when he sings, Better Love Next Time and Sexy Eyes and When You're in Love with a Beautiful Woman, You watch your friends. Oh, and watching him sing, it is so uncomfortable, but I enjoy it. This song was just like, I don't know if he's straight or gay, but in the video, if I had to make a guess, I would say he prefers the Dennis DeYoung songs of Styx.
Understood.
He and the other guy who has the patch on his eye, who's always playing maracas, very, very reminiscent of a young Peter Allen playing maracas after playing piano, also comes across not in the most heterosexual manner. Mm-hmm. Not that there's anything wrong with it. But the two of them, and they're watching some blonde girl in this video, and she's wearing blue jeans. Anyways, the videos are unbelievably horrible. However, following that, there was an interview with Madam and Andy Gibb having a back and forth. And I was watching it going, God, can you just imagine what people were forced to watch when there was only 3 networks? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I get that right now because I don't know what you're talking about. So, like, well, in my head, last night I did the same thing. I said, what would everyone watch? So clearly I chose Blade featuring Wesley Snipes.
Oh, yeah.
Which I haven't seen in many years.
It's a mixture of garlic and silver. when Chris Christopherson's explaining the bullets.
Dude,
it's a mixture of garlic and silver.
It's such a terrible movie.
It's shitty though. It's great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's the first time I've watched it since it came out.
Who plays the bad guy again?
Some skinny white guy.
Yeah, no, come on. He does those commercials now where he can't kick cigarettes. I struggled for a while and couldn't.
Really?
Oh yeah. What the hell is his name?
I don't even know.
I gotta look it up. Look it up.
But it was yeah, it's terrible. But you know what I did watch yesterday? Speaking of, she makes her blue jeans.
Oh, Steven Dorff.
Earlier in the day, I watched that episode of Seinfeld where George bought the loud suit. Okay. Every time he took a step, it's.
Oh, great!
It was a great episode.
Absolutely great. So listen, there's a town in Massachusetts called Wayland.
Okay.
Wayland, Wayland. Also, the name of Madam's puppeteer is Wayland. So I thought, if you had a florist, wouldn't you call the place Wayland Flowers and Madam? Oh, man, if you're older than 50, you're laughing at that.
No, I got nothing.
How the hell they didn't name a florist in the town of Wayland Flowers and Madam? You're not familiar with the TV show Madam, are you?
No, not at all.
With the Landis sisters? Boy.
Nope, never caught that one on syndication.
Well, if you guys don't know who Madam is an old lady puppet handled by a gay gentleman who basically makes the gayest jokes possible via the old lady puppet.
Fantastic. All right, I'm going to write this down because this sounds hilarious.
Oh, my God.
It's literally just called Madam.
Madam. And the puppeteer is Wayland Flowers. And I'm telling you, the back and forth between her and Andy Gibb, it was to the point where I'm just like, I think I could watch the snow on the TV and be more entertained. It was horrible.
It sounds awful.
But you know who was on? Good at all. Marilyn McCoo was on. She was also the host on the show. She had a career, of course, being the singer of the band The Fifth Dimension, sang such hits as One Less Bell to Answer, Wedding Bell Blues.
Ooh, lots to do with bells.
Stone Soul Picnic, Up and Away.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
They all sound fascinating. I'm curious if you have any high gain pedals, whether on your board or not on your board.
I do. I
You
have a
do.
few.
Okay.
I have, for high
What
gain,
what have you?
I have the Angry Charlie version 2.
Okay. I think I knew about that one.
I have the Bombastortion by
Who?
Jeff Coleman.
Okay.
And other than that, I mean, are you calling fuzz high gain? Because I do have some fuzz, like the Black Cat Super Fuzz, but that's fuzz, not really gain.
No, I'm thinking more in terms of like amp channel gains, like the Angry Charlie.
Yeah, so
I'm
that Bombastortion.
yeah. I'm just curious. I don't have any like that, and I'm thinking about checking a few things out. I've got access to a handful of things. Thinking about checking out the Wampler. I think they call it the Dracaris.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, I want to give it a listen. Check that one out. Check out the Tosin Abasi one too, the Abasi Pathos, and then I want to check out the Diesel. Diesel makes one called the VH4. And I was just watching some YouTube videos, and so there's some guys that are getting some good sounds out of some of those pedals, and I was just really surprised. I mean, I've never been a high gain pedal guy. I generally like the sound of the amp, maybe give the amp a kick with like a tube screamer or whatever, but like an amp channel pedal. Haven't had a lot of exposure to that. I think I've had for a moment in my past like a BEOD from Friedman when I was using a Dr. Z. And then I had the Andy Timmons JHS pedal.
Oh,
What was
okay.
that called?
That's called the Angry Charlie 3 Andy Timmons, the AT3 or something like that.
Okay, yeah. And that was wait, was it the JHS one?
Yeah.
Does he have a different one now? Does he have one with exotic or something now?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That one sounded good though. I had that one for a minute.
Now I've gone since playing with FM. When I used to play a full stack, I'm a full half stack, with like the Angry and stuff. But once you started doing cover songs, I really loved the Hot Rod Deluxe and all the options I had with a boatload of pedals.
Right.
And then I went to the Night Train. I tried the Mesa. I've used the Marshall. So with the Mesa, the distortion is so good that it's almost like you can't compare when you're pushing wind compared to a pedal going through a Fender.
Right.
However, what I found is the audience view / perception of that sound is the same.
Mm.
So I'm leaning going back to a clean style amp and using the big board and being way more versatile and having a tone that I'm like, oh yeah, this tone kills, as opposed to being like, yeah, this tone's killing me.
Right.
I
do.
But yeah, so I totally get you looking for, because you have a Dirty Shirley.
Right. I'm not looking to replace that sound. I'm just looking for augmentation here and there every once in a while. Like we play Cult of Personality in our set.
Sure.
And that is high gain and messy.
That would be like a Wampler triple rec sound.
Right, something like that. And that's kind of why I started thinking about it, because when we play it, it sounds tight and it sounds controlled. Frankly, it's missing that Vernon Reid messiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to, just like put myself in a position where I can like set my amp relatively clean for that tune and put some real high gain in front of it. We also do a Metallica song in the set. Well, not really Metallica. It's a Queen song, but Metallica covered it. We do
Stone Cold Crazy.
Yeah. And the Shirley's real classic sounding, real 70s hard rock sort of sound. Doesn't really do that like that sort of sound. So
yeah, it's also a very mid-rangey sound he's getting out of that Vox on that song. I
Well,
have
when
to
Brian
say,
May's doing it, but we're doing it
right.
more like Metallica's doing it. It's heavier.
Okay, yeah, which I'm not familiar. I knew they covered it, but I am very familiar with the Queen version because that's on the Sheer Heart Attack album, their third record, and I love that album. So, that's like, Queen, for me, the two best Queen albums, or I should say, the most enjoyable for me to listen to front to back, is Sheer Heart Attack and Queen 2, which, maybe don't have all the songs that people are looking for. I mean, I do love A Day at the Races. I like A Night at the Opera. I like News of the World. I love The Game. A Night at the Opera is an okay record. There's some good songs on it. There's some, I don't need to hear that 8 minute or whatever, however long Prophet song is to be like, it's just a lot of nonsense for me. But Queen 2 is a great record to check out, and obviously Share Heart Attack being my favorite. But yeah, a great band. And funny thing is, as much as I love all those Queen albums, I'm not a big fan of his guitar tone.
Mm.
When we talk about FM, we have a hard time coming up with songs because we talked about Styx and we ended up doing Renegade. But I'm still like leaning and wishing we were doing Self or Blue Collar Man is a fun one. And then we talked about somebody brought up we should do Working for the Weekend. And I've seen a few bands do it. I'm like, we should do it the way they do it, like just like the record, because that's how we do everything anyways. And then I was like, but I'd rather do Turn Me Loose. And then somebody else mentioned The Kid Is Hot Tonight. I'm like, man, Loverboy had a lot of good songs back in that day. And then
how many of them would your audience know? I'm curious.
All of them?
I don't know. If somebody said Turn Me Loose, I'd probably know it if I heard it, but off the top of my head, I don't know it.
Oh, you know why? Because I keep forgetting you were born in 81. I think it came out in 81. But listen, everybody in the comments, if you know, tell me. Turn Me Loose, The Kid Is Hot Tonight, loving every minute of it, Working for the Weekend, John's favorite, Almost Paradise.
Ooh, it's almost paradise. No, that was Loverboy?
No, it was Mike Reno from Loverboy and Ann Wilson of Heart.
Oh, got it.
Oh, great stuff.
I heard that song from Dirty Dancing at the grocery store today, and I was like, "This song's a good song."
Which one?
What's the famous duet from that movie?
I've had the time. Oh God!
I was like, I'm having the time of my life picking out butter lettuce right now.
Exactly.
All right, grocery store for the win. You know, it's always really sad when you go to the grocery store and like a song that you genuinely really like is now a grocery store song. Go to the grocery store and it's like all these great Toto songs. And you're like,
I'll never forget years ago. It was like in the late 80s, me and a buddy of mine walking to a Super Stop and Shop. And My Love by McCartney's playing. And he goes, oh, quiet for a second. I love the solo. And the second the solo starts, all customers, please come. We have 5 minutes. It was like a longest message. I was crying, going, you are the mush. You're just a curse. You don't bring up the solo, we hear it. You bring it up, somebody's interrupting us, and we can't even hear the fucking thing.
Oh, that's really funny.
We played this gig last night, and we did the gig, and I go to the bathroom, and the bathroom has like a toilet, a urinal, and a sink. And I'm in the urinal, and
wait, the bathroom had a toilet, a urinal, and a sink?
Exactly. And so my drummer walks in while I'm in the bathroom, and he starts talking to me, and he goes, and he's like just standing at the door, and we're laughing, and he goes, some guy
you're taking the biggest shit of your life, and he's standing outside the door.
This is what's coming. This is what's coming. So all of a sudden he starts telling me some guy walked up to him while he was standing at the urinal, like a few feet from him, like a foot from him, and just having a conversation. He's like, I'm trying to piss here. So I tell him, I said, listen, in 98, I came back to visit Massachusetts, And a buddy of mine was like, "Can we go to the Chinatown? Let's go eat." I said, "Absolutely." So we go to Chinatown, and I go to the bathroom. I walk into the bathroom. There's a guy taking a dump, another guy at the urinal, and another guy at the sink washing his hands. And I basically turn around and walk out. I'm like, what the hell? Meanwhile, the second I open the door, the fucking guy taking the shit is like, what the fuck? Like, he's irritated beyond, because this now, so now I just walk right back to the bathroom. My buddy's like, was anybody in the bathroom? I go, no. So he gets up to go. He comes back in tears, can't even breathe. He's like, some guy's taking his shit. 3 other people are in there. Literally is burned in my brain as the most bizarre moment in restaurant history. Because my whole thing I'm wondering is, who was the first guy? Like, so the first guy's taking a dump. I'm going to assume he's the first. Somebody else comes in. He's like, dude, I gotta go. Sorry. So now well, how's the guy washing his hands? Who's the third guy? No idea what the hell's going on in this place. The guy taking the dump looked miserable. He was so just like, funny. Yeah, it was like, I can't figure it out. I can't wrap my head around it. First of all, there wasn't even that many people in the restaurant. There was more people in that restroom than eating.
Dude, I remember one time I'm at the Malibu Inn. Ooh, and I got to take a piss, and I go in the bathroom. The urinals are occupied. A stall is free, so I'm like, I'll just use the stall. Go and take a piss. And like, as I'm midstream, I see somebody's head pop over the wall of the stall, and he just goes, "Hey, buddy, nice dick." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" God. And then I get out, and I realize it's my buddy. But he used to have long, like the last time I saw him, he had long hair.
It's an old friend of yours. Oh, that's hilarious.
And he used to have long hair. He was totally fucking with me, but he used to have long hair, but he cut it, and I didn't know.
Oh, that's
and
great.
So I just see somebody that looks like a total stranger in the flash of a moment, and I'm just like, what is going on here? And I get out, and he's dying.
Oh, God.
You're the biggest asshole ever.
Who was playing at the Malibu Inn when you went?
I don't know. I've been there a few times, and it would have either been like Chevy Metal or I don't know, maybe like Roger's band. You remember Roger? You say,
of course.
Yeah. It was either his band or Chevy Metal. Are you familiar with Chevy Metal?
No.
It's Taylor Hawkins' cover band, the drummer from the Foo Fighters.
Sure.
He does a cover band for fun, and they play the best stuff. Their stuff was all like 70s Rush, Led Zeppelin, like great stuff.
Right.
And yeah, it was.
I went to a birthday party on my birthday. It was some record. It was somebody at the firm, and that Colin invited me to, and the English Beat was playing.
Oh, wow.
And it was cool because afterwards I got to hang and talk to Dave Wakeling on a break, and we basically just shooting the shit about a couple of tunes. He was telling me about Save It for Later, and I had a great time. But that was one of the few times I went to the Malibu Inn.
Well, for a while they had shut that venue down. They converted it. They turned it, this was within the last 10 years. They turned it into something else. And I haven't been back there since, but I've heard people say that they turned it back.
They did?
Yeah, I guess enough people bitched about it that they do music again. They're
good.
Back to being a venue.
Yeah, it was a nice place. A little oasis on the on that road going on PCH.
Yep.
Right near the pier there.
Yeah, it's always an interesting crowd when you go there because you're in Malibu. There's a lot of money there. I remember like the few times I went there. The time I went and saw Roger there, freaking Adrian Smith was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was so weird. It was like, holy shit, Adrian Smith is here. And so, say hi to Adrian Smith. And then the other time I was there, I think Jason Sudeikis was there. And what's the girl's name? Olivia Wilde or something like that? The girl.
The actress, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're married or something.
Oh,
But
I
anyway,
did not know. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, those two are there, and I'm just like, Jesus, this is kind of cool.
It's a happening spot.
I'm a big baller at the
They're
Malibu Inn.
all the celebs. When was the last time you went to Sush Magoosh?
Ooh, the one in Santa Monica. West LA.
Yeah.
Probably the last time I was there with you.
Wow.
Well, I'm never over there. It's right by West LA Music.
The guy from every time I've gone there, the last 3 or 4 times, always the guy from Biohazard was there. You know when he dates the little porn star, the little 4-foot Mexican porn star?
You talking about Evan Seinfeld?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's the girl's name?
I don't know. He used to be married to one of them who was like
I want to say it's like
famous.
Lulu or Little Lulu.
I don't know.
I can't remember her name.
He used to be with another one. Maybe he's like just like one of these guys that's always dating porn stars.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, could be. But yeah, I used to see the two of them there all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. You know that guy that used to always work there, the guy that was like the waiter or whatever.
Yeah.
He's down at Mitsuya, so I see him at Mitsuya all the time.
Oh, okay. It wasn't like the way he took the order and then he would deliver your stuff, but you had ordered at the counter there.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't been there in 9 years. Whatever year it was.
So good. And there's another one too, a sushi stop on Sawtell further down. Actually, there's 2 of them. Well,
on Sawtell, there's a bunch now. And they're all good.
Yeah.
That's kind of
it's all little Tokyo down there.
Yeah. There's a place in LA called Oops Sushi. Great name. And it's on...
Hold on, you're breaking up again. Hold on one second. Say it again.
Sure. There's a place called Oops Sushi that I love.
Yeah.
It's on Barrington and what the hell's the name of that street? Gateway? Does that make sense to you?
It used to be Nori or something like that. It was like a real fancy sushi joint.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It's in like a little strip. It's the corner of a little strip.
I'm sorry. I'm all the way out to I'm on Pico at Gateway.
Okay.
What street are you at?
Barrington.
Barrington.
It's basically right where you're talking about, where you just take Gateway in.
Yes.
And then when you hit Barrington, there's a little stop there, and it's got great sushi spot. The thing that's the best about it, if you're not on a diet like I am right now, and miserable like I am right now,
right,
and wanting to kill everybody that talks to you like I am right now, it's fantastic because they do big bottles of Sapporo. Like you can get like the regular 12-ounce Sapporo is like $2, and the big one like the 16 or 20 or however big it is, it's like $3.
Yeah.
So you get your sushi, get a little Sapporo, good deal.
Yeah.
In LA, a $2 beer anywhere you go is impossible. You don't see that.
Well,
you remember playing? I know you don't drink a lot, and you didn't drink a lot of beer. At least when we were hanging out. Do you remember playing the Dragonfly in Hollywood?
Course. Yeah.
So I don't know if it's still there or not, but I remember playing the Dragonfly a few times, and they would when did you play the
Dragonfly?
Was I don't know, within the last 10 years, a few times.
And was Dave the owner still?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I do know that any instance that I played the Dragonfly, I not only did not get paid, but they wouldn't give you drink tickets. They wouldn't give you nothing.
Yeah. Oh, they didn't pay you either?
Oh, nothing at all. The band did, because I was just a guitar player for hire for the couple times that I played there. But yeah, no drink tickets, no nothing. And it was like, dude, you wanted to order I remember ordering a Guinness at the bar, and it was like $9.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. This is typical Los Angeles for you.
Yeah, see, the Dragonfly was pretty good to us back in the day. That was we played that place a lot. And they had a good sound guy. But I don't remember, the drink tickets wouldn't mean anything to me because I don't drink when I play.
Right.
Or at all, basically.
What was
the
movie Paul Rudd was in Was it a 40-year-old virgin when he's like, oh, you're gonna love it. It's $9 beer night.
Oh, is that?
Oh, typical. Yeah, it was funny. It was a good LA joke.
It's fucking brutal.
40-year-old virgin was great, by the way. But
yeah.
But anyway, I digress. Shout out to Cock and Bull.
Oh, I love the Cock and Bull.
Cock and Bull. We used to go throw darts.
Yeah, we used to throw darts at the Cock and Bull, and Saturday night they had live band karaoke.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that place was great.
Yeah, that's still there. Still the same. I still wonder how they do it, because the few times I've like driven past it in the evening or even been there, like there's nobody in there.
Yeah, I don't know. The guy probably owns the building, probably owned it since the 70s, so he pays nothing on it. They probably do dart leagues out of there, and the dart leagues with the buying of the beer there probably pay for it to keep them open.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. That's my kind of vibe, by the way. Go in. There's a handful of really sad older people at the bar, just washing away their anguish.
What was that motel up the street? Was it the Rest Haven?
I don't know.
That's behind like some fast food place. That always looked like
there's a Jack in the Box, and then in the parking lot that's got those. Yeah, it's got those.
It's
motels.
the Rest Haven.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it looks like Motel Hell. It's literally looks like they're shooting an HBO documentary there where there's either murder or prostitution.
Right. They're like, do you have room service here? They're like, yeah, it's right there. Just walk up to the window. It's like Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box. I'll have an ultimate cheeseburger, please.
Oh man.
Awful.
No, the Cock and Bull's great. You remember Nicky's? No, sorry, folks, we're not talking about guitar stuff at all.
Nicky's in Venice.
Was the opposite of my vibe.
Yes, Nicky's was in Venice by the beach on like 19th Street or something. It was right before you get to Windward Circle.
Right. That's where you'd go if you were in your 20s and attractive and you wanted to pick up. It was like a meat market in there.
Yeah. It was a lot of the gym folk.
Sure.
The younger gym folk, I should say.
You couldn't it'd take forever to get a drink.
Yeah, it's not a fun time.
No, but I think the younger people that were trying to find a lady or trying to find a guy or whatever they're doing, that was their crowd.
Yeah.
I was more send me to the old Irish pub with the sad old people and the dartboard. Where can I not be bothered by anybody? That's what I wanted.
Have you gone to the restaurant Billingsley's?
Sure, been there once.
Or Dear John?
Not Dear John's, but Billingsley's, yes.
Yeah, it's great. And Dear John's is good, too.
I've never done Dear John's. I see it all the time. That's the one that's on...
It's right there, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of on the corner of, like...
Culver and...
It's got to be, like, Culver and Sawtell or Culver and Sepulveda.
Yeah.
I think it's Sawtell.
Yeah.
No, I've never been.
Oh, yeah.
Like, is that just a bar or a restaurant?
No, it's like an old school steakhouse. You go in there, they got the tuxedo shirts. How are you doing, honey?
They've got tuxedo t-shirts.
$4 steak, here you go. You want the side of mac and cheese.
Oh, a little bit of ash from my cigarette got in your potatoes.
Oh, it's so old school genius. It's great.
That's funny. I've never been.
It's like Billingsley, but not busy.
Okay, yeah.
Billingsley sometimes gets the old elderly crowd around 4 p.m.
Ooh, for the early dinner special.
They get the early bird.
Now, what's the joint on Wilshire? Now, this is totally not guitar talk. There's that joint on Wilshire. It was a deli. Oh, what's the name of that deli? Froman's. That's the one. Yeah, Froman's Deli. That's the place where you go at 4 o'clock and you got nothing but old people.
Oh, it's awful.
Smells like old people.
Oh yeah, they have the combination plate where it's served with a Jello cup at the end.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That place is awful. So awful. I'd eat there daily.
Right, that place is like. You guys make your corned beef in house? No, we get it from the hospital. Wait, what? Yeah, we just cater everything from the hospital cafeteria.
We buy it across the street at Izzy's. Then why don't these people go to Izzy's because they don't have the Jello, folks. We have the Jello.
Because you go to Izzy's and they're like, "Yeah, you want a corned beef sandwich and fries? That'll be $37." You're like, "Wait, what happened?" Izzy's was, God, that place was way overpriced.
What did I used to get at Izzy? Oh, the French dip sandwich. I always got the beef au jus.
Ooh,
So good.
what
Maybe
was it?
stop
What was juice? Juice. What is that from? Oh, from Dumb and Dumber. I know you know Dumb and Dumber.
Of course.
With Jeff Daniels is feeding the dogs all those sandwiches from the.
Oh yeah.
You have the. You had the au juice or whatever he's calling it. Oh, it's funny. California. No,
now is Boulevard
if you're
Music still there?
Boulevard Music and Mortuary Services, yes.
And mortuary services?
Yes.
I don't get it. Is it dead in there?
When you go inside, you say, "Hey, Gary, how you doing?" You know, okay. A friend of mine passed away a week ago or so. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is lively.
Oh, really?
You look looking around to see if they've got an in-house PA of any sort, like play overhead music. None. It's
really Boulevard's gone.
It's just dead silent.
They used to do a lot of clinics out of there years ago.
They still do, but when you walk in as a customer, this is the treatment that you're going to get.
Oh,
it's the quiet talking. Oh, I'm doing okay, but everybody around me's dying. So
what was
I nicknamed it maybe 5 years ago. That's my new nickname for it.
What was the Greek guy's name? Is that Marina Music over there?
Yeah, Marina Music, George or Yorgos.
Yeah. And
he's a strange cat too.
Oh, and he's good buddies with Wolf, the guy Wolf that does the Wolf Korean guitars.
What about Wolf Soda?
Wolf what?
You don't watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
No.
Wolf Cola.
No, but you remember Wolf, the guy that makes guitars? He was friends with Gary Kramer, and he was making those.
No, I don't remember that guy.
Yeah, and Matt. You remember Max Carlisle?
Muscle Max.
Yeah, he was reviewing some of the Wolf guitars at one point.
No, I don't know. I can't say I've ever seen him. I can't say I've ever seen him.
All right.
But maybe we could get some in here if you guys, if you want to give me good terms.
Guy's awful.
I'm so sorry.
And Boulevard used to be a big Taylor dealer years ago. Is he still selling Taylors?
Probably not. I don't know. I don't think so.
What's happened to Taylors?
What happened to Taylor's?
Taylor used to be...
They're still one of the biggest companies in the business.
No, I know, but they used to really focus on their nicer guitars. I've noticed all their marketing in the last 10 years has been solely to the 100, 200 series. Now they offer the 200 in Rosewood. I'm like, who gives a shit? Like, they don't talk about their 500 series, their 600. It's just...
Yeah, it might just be because they're outwardly advertising to an audience who's just getting going, whereas like somebody who plays for a long time and somebody like you or I, we already know about them.
Well, the problem that Taylor has, and if Bob Taylor's watching, I welcome him to take my suggestion. They're becoming what Fender does. They are making every fucking model feel the same. And it's like...
That's what my opinion was on their shit for years anyways. I know you liked them years ago. I never was a big fan.
No, I think they make a great guitar, but if you make an 800 series that's fancy and you have the 700 that's a little bit more tuned down, kind of looking more bluegrassy, make it a fucking bluegrass guitar. Put a V-neck on it, make it maybe a hair wider, but don't give the same vanilla to every goddamn instrument you make.
Right.
That's the problem they have. That's why, because there's no excitement whatsoever in the line above. You can't get excited for $2,000. So what do? They try to get you excited over the $600 shitbag guitar.
Well, it's a weird company because as much as you can give them credit and say, wow, your process is amazing and consistent, because anything you buy from them from the 400 series up sounds like a Taylor. It's like it's got a Taylor voice to it.
I would
They
say
don't.
the 300 series up.
Yeah, that's probably true. They don't change a lot, but that's to somebody who's like really looking to buy a $5,000 or $6,000 guitar. It's a problem to you that $5,000 or $6,000 guitar costs the same amount of money. I'm sorry, doesn't cost the same amount of money, but it sounds roughly the same as that 1999 guitar. You don't want to spend 3 times the dollars and get the same general tonality out of it.
I just think that the feel wise, you pick up every instrument, they all feel identical. And it's like,
Right.
hey, if you make a 710, call it a 710 bluegrass. Come up with a bluegrass series. Come up with something where every guitar doesn't feel, look, and sound the same.
Right, but that's
now I'll give it to them. I love
I
love the Grand Symphony. I love the 700 series Grand Symphony, and I think it's a beautiful sounding guitar. Put a V-neck on there, and I'm in a fatter neck, and I'm game. Keep the same little C neck on the thing, and I'm never looking at them.
Right.
And not only am I not looking at them, I don't even see a lot of them for sale. You go to music stores, I don't see a lot of Taylors anymore. I see the low end shit, but I'm not seeing people spending the money.
I wonder if it has to do with whatever their buy-in is and what stores can actually afford to put on their walls nowadays.
Well, and I also think there's nothing to be excited about.
Yeah, no, that's true. But they might be pulling a Gibson and kind of like saying, look, you guys want to be a Taylor dealer, you've got to have an entire wall with 35 instruments on it. And of that, it's got to be, a $60,000 investment. And most stores are going to say, I can't do that.
Guitar Center that I know has maybe 10 Taylors on the wall, and about 8 of them are cheap.
Well, that's Guitar Center's new philosophy.
Guitar
Center is not a pro shop anymore. Guitar Center is a soccer mom shop now.
Yeah, I don't know that they never really... I mean, maybe the Hollywood shop, even when Westwood opened, I was like, it was a lot of crap. And when we said to Don, why, he's trying to compete with them, I'm like, get rid of the Squire nonsense. Get rid of the USA and the Mexican and go custom shop. Mm-hmm. Hit them where they can't hit. You can't sit there and say, hey, we're West LA Music, we're the pro shop, and then not get the instrument that the pro wants.
Right.
Sit there. It's like, we're with a pro shop. Oh, you need a starter kit? I have tons of those.
Right.
Because that's what pros are buying.
Right.
What?
Well, yeah. when you say to your outward audience, this is where the pro shop, you are advertising to not the pro at that point. That slogan is built for people who are aspiring. That slogan's not built for a pro. Right. Stevie Wonder once saw that slogan. He didn't even respond.
Oh, that's awful.
What? Just saying.
I said that joke to Stevie once when he came in. I said, oh, you don't recognize me?
Right.
I just sold you something last week, you jerk.
Oh, that's fantastic.
We actually did have a lot of pros, and we got a lot of good players. The problem is, like, they would come in, and even some of them, under their breath, would say, how come you guys have, like, all this stuff, but not a lot of the... the Fender custom shops, I will say Don went out and got a lot, but then they did that Ultimate Strat, which is like hard for me to sell because people say, what do you think of it? Well, it's the ultimate of exact opposites of what I would do with a Strat.
Right. Yeah.
I want the 60s body, the 50s neck.
That was a really hard pill to swallow because, when it was originally being asked to be designed, I think you were gone.
I was there for a little of it, and you were involved.
Yeah, and they didn't make any of the suggestions that Mark and I had put into it at all. They basically said, "Oh, I don't know you guys want that. I think it would be better if it was like this." And then he made the decision. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, of course I know.
So no, I had nothing to do with that guitar, and they ordered so many of them.
Yeah,
dude, Joe Reynoso or whoever. Oh my God, that guy, he got a good commission check that month.
Who was it?
Joe Reynoso.
Oh,
He was the head of the custom shop at that point.
right.
God, we must have bought. I know we bought over 100 guitars. Because with all of the variety,
40 of each color, right?
It was like
40 of each color.
40
and there
of
were
each
five
color.
different,
and there
five
were
different models.
Right, and there were Strats and Tellys and J basses. Because you remember
really?
Mark Lever put his 2 cents in, and they ordered like 20 of each of the J basses.
That's a beautiful instrument.
Tremendous amount of instruments. It was like, oh my God, what are we gonna do with all these?
Yeah.
And there was no online outreach at that point in time for him. And so it was like, you're literally trying to sell this to your immediate community. Yeah. This is too much.
Yeah, it was just, to me, the wrong guitar, because if you were to design a Strat, like I said, it's the opposite of what I would order.
It was a 50s body and a 60s neck, right? So it had the deeper body cuts, but it had a single ply guard.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was stupid.
And then the C neck.
Yeah, 60s C neck, yeah. Not great. Not great.
Yeah, not a fan.
Fat 50s pickups, I think.
Yep. For sure.
Not great. Not great.
Yeah. Now, I will say that the relic versions of the guitar play nice. But I mean, it was a miss. It was a shoot and a miss. And it's what happens when you get too many people involved. And not for anything, but you really got to go to the people on the floor.
Well,
because that's who's putting the guitars in people's hands all the time. And it's like, well, let's put it this way. We got a 62 custom shop in by mistake once with a West LA neck plate. And nobody knew. I'm like, where's the fucking fit guards on us? This is like not right. But it's just because it's just a fucking generic guitar that any guitar comes in playing just like it. You know what I mean? It's like, what's the difference?
That's true. And this is why I've never been a big fan of Taylor. It's comes right back around. It's just generic to me.
And this is why I'm no longer allowed at any Starbucks.
You know, the Taylor's kind of like McDonald's. Like, it's got its own, like, McDonald's doesn't taste like Burger King.
Wait, are you saying that Taylor has excellent fries?
Probably not, but okay, so they probably don't like this comparison because they're like, we're not fast food, we're high end. But what I mean is, it's got its own flavor, but like everything you could order off of that menu tastes like McDonald's. It has that flavor. And anywhere you go in the country, you know it tastes exactly the same. It's always like that. And that's the thing that kills me about it.
I'll say this. I think Taylor is a nice sounding acoustic guitar. I just think when you pick it up, it feels like, okay, this is why I don't like any of the Fenders off the shelf. It's just missing something homey about it. Now, I know I did. Now, listen,
magic.
Now,
that's what it is.
When I left West LA, I did an order with Taylor where they did custom the bluegrass model. You were gone too. And Billy was like, that thing is selling like crazy up there. My response back to him is, you guys, you have here's what these companies don't understand. Taylor and Gibson Custom Shop, for that matter, have the opportunity to do for free the market research, because some store like West LA Music goes and makes a bluegrass model of a Taylor. They sell out of them right away. Taylor, the sales guy, is sitting there saying, I got to go there and convince them to reorder. My thought is, you shouldn't be convincing them to reorder. You should be going back to your boss saying, these guys sold the hell out of these. There's a little market research. Why don't we do a brief 100 run? See what...
put it out
You've
there into the
already
market. Yeah.
you have the test market of a 20 order. Now do a 100 piece. If that sells, then you add it to the line. You have that instead of sitting there trying to get a store who, for whatever reason, at that point, they lost a lot of good sales. You left in 2010, yes?
Early 2010. I think I was gone in April.
Yeah, I was too. So they lose two of the head sales.
I must have been gone. I was gone like a month and a half after you, so it must have been maybe June.
Oh, okay. So they lose two of the big guys in their company in the guitar side. They're going through a hard time. They bring other people in and but so Taylor doesn't really know why they're not reordering, but they know they have the sales guy who calls me up when I'm at Alva's, and he's like, "Do you want to do the same thing at Alva's? They sold out of theirs already." Because I was like, "I want to go up and check the guitar out." He was like, "Oh, they're already gone." And I'm like, "Well, that should tell you right there. You should release it as a model." No, you should order 20. Why am I doing the fucking work for you? How about you do the fucking work for me? I'm running a store. Why don't you come up with a model so you can fucking advertise it instead of me doing the work of a unadvertised product that I'm selling and doing your fucking bidding? Fuck off. This is to everyone that owns a fucking company. Go fuck yourself if you want me to do the marketing for you. Do you remember the time when Ibanez owner, the CEO, Tom, came into West LA and he's asking me why we don't sell basses? And I said, put your fucking Ibanez name on and get rid of that fucking sound gear. What the hell am I at? And then he was like asking me, and I was getting all mad at him. He's like asking me, questioning me, and I didn't know he was the owner. I thought he was just some poor rep that they sent to me from Japan.
Right.
And he's like, why do you not carry amps? I'm like, when you start advertising them, I'll start carrying them, but I'm not doing the work for you and making the commission that I'm making on it.
Right.
And the guy was like, okay. He was so like serious with me. Okay. So then I get a call from I'm blanking on his name.
Russ Rosenfeld.
I get a call from Russ, and Russ is like, you know who that was? I'm like, no. He's like, that was the CEO. And I'm like, oh, God, he wants to see you when we at the NAMM show next week. I was like, oh, really? He's pissed off? He's like, oh, no, he loves you. He says you are very honest. I went and saw him. He handed me a bunch of tickets to something, and he was like, you give me a lot to think about. I'm like, hey, man, I hope I wasn't trying to disrespect you or anything. He was like, oh, no, not at all.
I get what you're saying about all this, and I appreciate it. And I even experience it in like some of these companies. Like they build their marketing budget on what is working and not what they feel confident in being the right product. Like you take, for instance, this black electrical tape here. Like if this had never, if nobody stood behind this and they were just like, it's just black electrical tape. Let's see how many we sell. You're not going to sell that many, and you don't market it. And so black electrical tape goes away, and everybody's shielding their equipment with duct tape, right? Well, if somebody was like, no, I stand behind this. This is a better product. People aren't buying it because they don't know about it. We got to advertise it. We got to get the message out there. Now, all of a sudden, it's a staple in everybody's life. It's like electrical tape is important. Everybody has a roll in their house, That's the way that some of these companies don't. I think Ibanez was one of them that was like that. I remember having conversations with them before where they were like, we don't have a big budget for this. Oh no, not Ibanez, Yamaha. So you remember the Yamaha Pacifica electric guitars?
Of course,
they weren't widely distributed in the United States. They weren't advertised ever. All you hear about in the U.S. in guitar magazines or whatever is Yamaha acoustic guitars, Yamaha basses, Yamaha keyboards. You never hear about the Pacifica stuff. And the reason why is they say, well, we don't sell very much of it, so we don't have a marketing budget for it. It's like, well, do you believe in it? Do you want to sell more of it? What's the thought process there? You know?
Yeah, they think they show a couple of artists in their catalog who play them, and people are going to go run out to them. But there's no support for the store. Okay, I will just say this. So a guy used to come in the store all the time to me, and he kept asking me why I didn't carry a certain brand of string in a very specific SKU. I had never heard of the strings or was familiar with them, but I ordered it for him. We got it in, and they sat there, and the guy came in and bought his 2 sets, and now I'm sitting on 12 sets. Another guy from another company comes in and goes, "Oh, I make those strings." I go, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, we make them for that company." And I'm like, "Well, why don't I just buy your SKU?" So then I actually tried the strings, and I'm like, oh, once the other string company gave me it, and I was like, I see why the guy likes them. He likes these strings because they're 80/20s. And right now, and I'm pretty new at West LA at the time, right now, West LA only carries phosphor bronze. So I bring in the 80/20 SKU, and I tell people what it is, and I push it, and it becomes the most popular SKU there. But it's knowing the product, and it's got to work both ways. But the thing is, when people come in, imagine if Fender doesn't, decides, they say, hey, you know what? You can do a hot rod deluxe and change a couple of things, and it's going to cost you, $1,000 more for this hot rod deluxe, and then you can sell them. What? Well, it's just a hot rod deluxe. How am I going to go turn around and sell? You have a hot rod, but now if they go do with their own limited of it and then sell it, they can sell it at a better cost. And
Right.
you'll sell the hell out of them, and they advertise them.
Right.
It's just nuts. The whole you should do your own. I mean, I know why they do it, and folks, that's why when you see custom shop guitars and you see companies doing Chicago Music has their own SG. AMS, I think that's the name of the company with their catalog. They have their own Gibson Les Paul version. Guitar Center does their own limited version. They do this so you can't shop them.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go to another store and say, I can get this for this price. They can hard sell it to you for whatever price they come up with. That's the only reason why they do these bullshit models.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. The models are so you can't shop comparatively to somebody else.
Yep.
Because in free market, you want to be able to shop. So if a guy makes a Strat and you want to buy a Strat, you go to 3 places. The guy who gives you the best service, the best price, that's who you're going to buy it from. But now if you go to Joe Blow's music store and he's got the Joe Blow limited Strat, and this one is in a limited color of periwinkle gray. Mm-hmm. I'm making that up. But anyways, he's got you by the balls. You can't shop him. He's the only one that carries that. Now, can some other store call up and custom order you that guitar? Absolutely. They'll make you. They are the biggest whores there are. All these manufacturers. They'll make whatever you want from any store. But the guy at the store will say, but it won't be Joe Blow's limited.
Right.
Back off.
This is true. How do you feel about custom shop labels on a guitar that's not truly custom? And what I mean by that is, take, for example, Fender's a great example of this. Take a Ancho Poblano Telecaster. It's from the custom shop. It's called custom. But you can buy it in any store that carries, quote, custom shop guitars. So in reality, there's nothing custom about it. It's just a line in their model in their model lineup that's high end,
Well, that's basically their custom shop is Ibanez's Prestige.
Yeah, at that point, that's right.
Yeah, it's just the group of guys in the factory who are allotted to make that instrument. And the biggest fucking ripoff in the planet is anyone who's buying a master built from Fender. Because what you're doing is you're buying a guitar that was meant to be team built. The whole idea of Fender guitars is that assembly line production of the person that's wiring it wires all day, so it's going to be great wiring. The person that does the setup does setups all day. Instead, we're going to give you one guy to do the work. It's going to take him 3 times as long, so we're going to charge you twice as much. It's insane.
Oh, this is true. This is true. At the end of the day, you always wonder about like some of this stuff. Like, does John Cruise really hold a soldering iron with that much more competency than anybody else that's been doing it for years at that factory?
My question is, do you think John Cruise is doing that, or do you think John Cruise has a team under him doing stuff?
I think when you get master build, it's probably I don't know. I'd like to think that it's authentic, but I don't know.
I'm sure you would. I don't think so.
I'd like to think that. I don't know.
I don't think it makes a difference, but I don't think that they're all. I mean, I think they got probably an apprentice or two.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an apprentice. That's not a helper. That's an apprentice. I'm helping them learn the trade, so they're doing pickups on 30 guitars today. Oh yeah, they're. That's great.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the only processes where you could think like, oh, my master built guitar is like better than whatever else, would literally be like the neck shaping and the fretwork. Not a single other thing that person does would really matter.
It shouldn't.
Well, the rest of it's 100% adjustable, so it shouldn't matter. It's like no, you should feel the setup that came with it. Oh yeah. I was like, I could give it to Rachinsky and he could set it up for $50. You pay $2,000 for a setup? No, never.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, but when this guy's bolted the neck in, he did it to the rhythm of "I Go to Rio" by Peter Allen. It's like, what?
He knows he has a torque screwdriver that specifically torques each screw to 38.5 foot-pounds. Yeah.
Right.
Like, no.
And you're going to charge $8,000 for it,
No,
but for 50-something thousand, I just saw a 1960s that was built by a team of Mexicans in the 60s.
There you go.
Right?
True.
I mean, Leo himself said he would hire unskilled labor and train them on the job, and that's what all the 50s and 60s are, and you have all your purists out there going, the 50s and 60s guitars are the best. Yeah, they got neck pockets the size of swimming pools, and nothing's touching, and nothing matters. It doesn't fucking matter. And everyone's like, oh, those are the best ones. Okay.
I always throw back to that crazy article that was written about their paint. I can't remember who wrote the article. It was like Mike Todd or somebody from Fender, where they're talking about the fact that like back then they weren't specifically just using nitro, because everybody goes bananas about nitro, but like, oh yeah, no, all the primer and the undercoats was all enamel, just the top coat was nitro or whatever. That's pretty funny stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, people talk about the nitro and the guitar vibrates. Like, oh really? If it was dipped in a bucket of Full-A-Plast or Homoclad, yeah, it's vibrating all right.
Yeah. The only time that matters is when you're buying the guitar and you're saying to yourself, this one resonates more. The moment you plug it in, you don't even feel the vibration against your body. You don't feel it. The only time you feel is when you hit a chord and you go, wow, this vibrates a lot. And you grab the back of the body. Oh, I can feel it vibrating.
Right. You get on stage, the thing ain't vibrating anymore. You're sitting there looking at your amp cursed going, what the piss is going on? What is all that noise? Yeah, exactly. Like I did a gig the other day. They got me on the same wiring as fucking as light dimmers. You think when I'm playing, I'm going, listen to the tone wood. I'm going, how much RF signal can I get through this fucking amp? Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
I'm hearing radio contact from 1941, that missing ship.
Exactly. You're feeling like Nigel when they were at the Air Force Base.
Yeah, what was that movie where they had the missing ship and they were getting radio contact with it?
Oh, I don't know.
That's what was going on, folks. If you know the movie, put it down for me, will you? But that's what was going on. I'm hearing all kinds of. It sounded like. People like, what song is that? Well, it sounds like the police radio is what it sounds like, folks. I get so much interference in this amp right now.
Exactly. Anyway, let's wrap this up.
All right.
Moving.
All right, very good. John, great talking to you. We'll text you.
Yep.
All right, very good.
All right, folks. Catch you later.
All right, late. Very good.
You're listening to Guitar Talk with Dave and John.